Hello, this is Sarah Soiledplant and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all of my Heartleaf Philodendron. If I had to pick an absolute favorite group of plants, I would probably say Heartleaf Philodendron would be at the top. If I really had to pedal to the metal, push come to shove, if you had to pick, this would probably be my favorite. In honor of talking about the Heartleaf Philodendron, I've decided to wear a heart necklace and also have a nice lover album in the back. Hearts all around, we're staying on theme. I even unintentionally have a nice Heartleaf Philodendron up here, but these kind of Heartleaf Philodendrons are not the Heartleaf Philodendrons I'm talking about. I'm specifically talking about my vining philodendrons, the hederaceum family. Also, it is raining where I'm at right now. It was actually hailing a few minutes ago, so if you hear rain or thunders and all of that, I apologize. But this is the time when I had to film, and it happens to be raining a lot right now, so I apologize. And if we're starting with hederaceum, we have to start with the OG, and that is the standard Heartleaf Philodendron, the all green variety. Now, this plant is huge. It started as a couple of cuttings from my parents' plant, and it has sort of blossomed into a gigantic full plant. The inner pot here is actually only a 4-inch pot. It's a pretty sizable 4-inch pot if you compare it to one of these. It's a good amount bigger, but it's kind of like a very hefty plant here. This one I currently have growing in a western facing window. I just kind of ended up putting a lot of my Heartleaf Philodendrons over there. They just all go together. They're lovely. They fill a space really nicely. They can be in a hanging basket. You can definitely take advantage of vertical space with something like a plant like these. And if you're in a small space, or if you don't have a lot of surface area to cover plants in, a hanging basket or something hanging from a shelf might actually work really well for this. Even though a lot of people say the plain green one is plain, it's basic, I love this plant so much. It has not given me an ounce of grief. Even if I underwater it, it doesn't misbehave. I don't lose leaves on this super often. This one in particular, the micans, sometimes I lose leaves on, but this one is so perfect. I have had zero issues with this plant, no complaints whatsoever. It's amazing and I love it so much. The next one I have is my lemon lime, and this one is kind of just the neon version of the regular green one. Just for a color comparison, you can kind of see them both, and this one is a lot more lime. The new growth on the green variety comes in kind of like a pinky purple, like maroony color green, but it's still very much green. It's just kind of like a different tone of green. And these ones, when the new leaves come in, they are almost like orange color, much different than the green variety. And just for reference, in case you don't believe me, this particular plant desperately needs water. I'm gonna have to water it right after this. It is like a super light pot. If I had this pot sitting on a shelf, it would knock over. It's that light. And the plant is super healthy, still doesn't look too bad. And when I water it, it's gonna be just fine. It's not gonna lose any leaves. These plants are amazing. And if you lead a lifestyle that is super unpredictable or stressful, these plants are a godsend. So now you have your green variety, you have your lemon lime. If you want both of these and they're both merged, you have the Brazil, which looks like this. The Brazil definitely is one of my favorites. I feel like there's certain people who do not like this plant or don't like the pattern on it for whatever reason. I can't get enough of it. It's amazing. The more light you give it, you're gonna get more of that lemon lime color, and sometimes it could overwhelm the whole plant. If you give it too little light, it might lose some of that lemon lime. So you have to put it in the middle a little bit. Most leaves will have sort of this lemon lime in the center with green on the outside, and it'll be that kind of abstract pattern. But there's leaves in here of all kinds. Like this one, there's a bunch of different types in here. Like this one has lemon lime all on the one edge. This one here is pretty much like a half moon situation. This one's kind of cool. I'm kind of digging that one, and it's totally abstract. Even this one is kind of cool where there's hardly any green on it, but it's not like a set pattern. I just like how there's so much variety leaf to leaf, and it really keeps you guessing sort of which sort of pattern you're going to end up with. A lot of this end growth was grown in the winter time, so there's a lot less of that lemon lime in the middle because less light, winter, yada yada, you get the picture. This plant grows about as well as the green variety, more so than like the lemon variety. I find the lemon one does grow a little bit slower, and this one grows so quickly. I can't seem to keep on top of it, really. This one definitely just keeps delivering all the time. Look how this end piece is growing right now. Like, what is going on here? This is not me manipulating the plant in any way. Like, what is happening with this? I have no idea. Like, how can you not love plants? They keep you guessing. I love them. I love the colors in it, and it grows just like the green variety. So, in my opinion, it's just as good, if not better, than even the other two. But I do love them all pretty much equally, just for different reasons. Now for another one that looks almost exactly the same as the Brazil, in my opinion, but is a little bit different and a little bit more special, is my Cream Splash. It is called Cream Splash because there is a splash of cream, as you would expect. So the leaves, instead of having just a lime color in the center, they will have a little bit more of that off-white color. And of course, like with the Brazil, that also is determined by how much light you give it. The more light you give it, the more likely you're going to get that cream variegation. Some of these hardly have any cream in it. Some of them, like this one, is just this little stripe down the center. It has no cream really in it at all. So after getting a few leaves with just that single stripe down the center, I decided to give it a little bit more light, put it in a nice primo spot next to the window, and I've been getting this vine, which is much more cream variegated. So like that one has the lemon lime and then the cream on the outside. This one has a little bit more cream in it. It really is a super subtle difference, and I can understand if you're somebody who's like, why would I spend extra on that if I can just get a Brazil? Totally understand. I wanted to get one just to see how it grew and if the variety was something I liked, and I do like it. I'm going to keep it. I actually did take a cutting of this plant at one point, and so I technically have a second one, and that is this one right here. I put this in my south-facing window, but it is not growing really at all. It's been having some issues. This one has actually had a very difficult time growing. I have it in my south-facing window. It has roots galore in there, but it hasn't put out a new leaf in a while. And then I have the Philodendron micans. It is the same thing as the green variety, hederaceum, except this one is velvet. And the velvet effect does give it a little bit more of an autumnal color combo. From here in the camera, it probably just looks straight green, but if you look at the backs of the leaves and kind of see the variety as it shifts in the light, it definitely has some maroon in there, some browns. It's very, very autumnal, and it's super nice. It does have a sort of velvety texture, like compared to a gloriosum. It's about the same, actually. It's got like a softness to it, but it's not like a true velvet. But it does have like a little bit of a nice soft texture to it. As a result, these do get a lot more dusty. I've found that this variety is a little bit thirstier than all of the other varieties, and it tends to drop leaves more often if I forget to water. Prime example is my second micans, which is going through it right now. I forgot to water it once because it was on the back section of my shelf closer to the window to try and encourage it to grow, and it was kind of like stuck between some things, and I think I forgot to water it the last time, and you know, it's struggling as a result of that. So you can see sort of as the plant starts to drop leaves, it does turn that kind of like orangey reddish color, which is actually really lovely. And the one small drawback I would say for this plant versus all of the other Heartleaf Philodendron I have is that the new growth is pretty much the set color of the plant. It doesn't come in like a red or a maroon or orange. When it unsheaths, it's basically the color that it is at the end. So that means the only leaves you see that are different colors are ones that are dying, which is kind of unfortunate, but also like, I don't know, maybe easier to spot dead leaves. But it's still beautiful in its own right. And of course, in the last moments of this video, Maggie shows up and wants pets. Like, of course that happens. But that's my entire Heartleaf Philodendron collection, at least like the vining varieties, the hederaceum variety. I do love them very much. I'd probably be open to getting more. I feel like the Silver Stripe, the Gabby, and the Cream Splash are all kind of the same, and I don't think I need multiple of that type, especially because I've already got 2 of the Cream Splash as, you know, as I've propagated and made plants. I hope you enjoyed checking out all of my hederaceum. I know they have kind of a stigma for being kind of like basic starter plants, but they're so good and I love them so much. They're so pretty and so underappreciated, so I wanted to give them a nice little highlight video so you can kind of appreciate them with me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more of me. And don't forget to hit that notification bell just in case you want to see the video as soon as I drop them. You'll be the first to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye!